We have reached the final week of the regular season for high school football. Several districts not quite settled yet, and for a breakdown of everything, we got Chase Colston with us from the Tyler Paper and ETFinalScore.com. Chase, we start with the Bullard Russ game. We'll be there live this Friday. So much at stake for the Panthers. 1993 was a long time ago since the last time they made the playoffs.
That's right, Eric, and Bullard has not made the playoffs since they moved up to 3A in 1994. This is a huge game for them. This is, I think, this is at least the third time that they'll be one win away from getting into the playoffs since they moved up to 3A. And so they've got another shot, but it's against a Russ team that's really turned around their season. Coach Patton has done a great job down there. They've already clinched a playoff spot.
You mentioned Coach Patton and what a job he's done. That needs to be recognized. But for the Panthers, the new stadium, they got a new coach. The fans, they're tasting this right now, and that's what you want in your football program, right?
Absolutely. You know, the football team has seen, in the recent years, they've seen their basketball team have a lot of success. Football's always kind of been on the back burner, but as time goes on, you start to get your players who help build things up, and getting a coach like Coach Wilson, who was an assistant at a premier program like South Lake Carroll, has really turned things around and just made Bullard into a viable football program.
Let's move on to Class 3A, and I would have never thought we would be saying Henderson is on the bubble, but that's the case, right?
Just like last year, people didn't know what to think last year because it was a tough district. It was the first time that all those schools were together. But Henderson goes on, they win the Division I state championship, and they come back out. They start 7-0, just dominating teams, and Del Barnes is having a fantastic season, and they lose 2 in a row. You lose by 21 to Carthage, and then you lose to Gilmer. Gilmer clinches that district title when most people thought that it was Henderson's to win. And they're in the same position where they have to beat Gladewater the last week of the season or they're out.
Maybe that's just the way Henderson likes to do things there, Chase. All right, we got to mention Brook Hill here. We know how good they've been, but this year they kind of flew under the radar. They lost Tyler Baker, all those great players. They're now ranked 6th in TAPS, and is this Coach Pirtle's best team?
I'm not sure yet. It really depends on how they do in the playoffs and moving on out. But when you have players like, Coach Pirtle's son, or Tyler Pirtle, excuse me, and Gunnar Dorsey, good running back, things like that, there weren't as many expectations when you lose guys, like you said, like Tyler Baker and J.B. Moss and Austin Mentor, but they've really exceeded those expectations and have showed that they're still going to be a force to be reckoned with in TAPS.
All right, maybe we see them back in the state finals like the last 2 years. All right, Chase, to get everybody up to par on what's going on for week number 10, the final week of the regular season, ETFinalScore.com has all your previews to get ready for this Friday night. Chase, we will see you then. Have a great rest of the week.
Thanks, Eric.